You're listening to Spark TV, where we bring you daily interviews with real women in business at all stages. I'm your host, Danielle Lewis, and I am so grateful to have you here. Amazing, Rebecca. Welcome to Spark TV.
Hello, thank you for having me.
It's so lovely to have you here. Are you having a nice start to the week?
I am having a nice start to the week. Thank you. A little bit cold in Melbourne, but it's good. Thank you.
I love it. I love it. Let's start out by telling everyone who you are and what you do.
All right, so I'm Rebecca Max. I run my business called Infinite Presence, which is all around creating more mentally healthy workplaces. I'm also the mum of two boys. I have a 4-year-old and a 16-year-old, and they both keep me nice and busy.
Oh my God, I can imagine. I'm always wildly fascinated with women in business that are mothers. I feel like if you have something that you need to get done, give it to a mum because you're
I
just
hear that
a woman.
often from old bosses, and it's kind of true because you have to learn how to juggle. It keeps life interesting and joy filled and stressful and busy and all the things.
Which we love. I feel
Yeah,
like as business owners, we thrive on that kind of chaos.
true. Exactly right. We do.
So good. So, how did you actually get into business? So,
Yeah,
I mean, this is quite niche, mentally healthy
it
workplaces. I
is.
love it and very important. But how did you
Yeah.
get there?
Yeah, really good question. So the first chapter of my career is all working as part of people and culture teams, so in recruitment. And then I went through a stressful time in my life and I discovered meditation and I decided I wanted to go off and become a meditation teacher, which I did. And then some of my first clients were the recruitment clients that I was on site recruiting for. And we
Mm.
started piloting some programs around meditation and stress management. And that went on really well for a good year or two. And then I'd always been part time because I'm a working mum, and I started to scale that business on my days off. And then after having my second son, I decided to jump into the business with both feet. But the business has changed a lot. So it started off as a workplace meditation business. And then as part of running meditation sessions, and as being a leader in recruitment, I had lots of discussions with people around struggles with mental health, so anxiety, depression, sleep, stress, all sorts of things. And I went off and did my own mental health first aid training. So I had a support tool kit that I could use when people were talking to me about their struggles, and that was awesome. And then I went off and became a mental health first aid instructor. And then the business has just morphed into all things mentally healthy workplaces. So whether that's neurodiversity and inclusion, whether it's leadership training, it's now all things that help people to feel good at work, but more importantly, support them when they're struggling. So that was a really long-winded answer to your question, but there you go.
No, I love it. And because again, I'm always fascinated by people's story arc, So, and I love that you said the business looks different today than when
Yeah.
you first started, because I think that's the way. I don't think I mean, yes, a lot of us have a big vision for our business and we, want to build this empire. But I also think that it's when you get in the trenches and you're working with your customers and you're getting into
Yep.
the industry that you really kind of figure out where the gaps are and things do morph and evolve. So I
They
always
do.
love to hear people's stories around that.
Yeah, it's definitely changed, and it's sometimes life feels like it's in alignment, and this feels like it's very well aligned for what businesses are going through, the stress and pace of life for people, and where I can add some value. So yeah, definitely changing as we go.
Do you think that that's changed? So if you reflect on your time, I guess, in corporate and
Yeah.
then in business and what you've seen over time, do you think it's changed? Do you think that we are struggling more or do we just talk
Mm.
about it more? What's your vibe on where we're at
It's
as
a
a
really
people?
good question. I think, look, we definitely talk about it more, which is awesome. I think that was one of the gifts of COVID, that leaders started to need to have different kinds of conversations with people. So it's not just about how you're tracking with your work and how you're tracking with your targets. It's about how you're coping with this pandemic and how your stress levels and how's your mental health going. So I think that kind of opened a door to new conversations, which is great. But I think there are new stressors in the world. There are new stressors in the workplace. So, AI, no one quite knows what that means yet. So we're leveraging it, we're using it, we're finding out how it can make our lives easier. But at the same time, we're hearing in the news that jobs are being slashed because AI is making things more efficient. So there are those new unique stressors for people about, well, what does this mean for me? And I think just with the world and the media and how accessible information is to people right now, I think that's a stressor we have today that I definitely didn't have as a child growing up. So I think as the world continues to evolve and change, there is a lot more that people are
Mm.
consuming day in, day out. So lots more conversation about it, but also some different and more unique stressors, I think.
Yeah, and I think that is interesting, your point around what we're consuming as well. We do live in this time where, I mean, it always makes me laugh. My husband's like a YouTube fanatic, but he watches a lot of like news content.
Yeah.
And so, sometimes at night, well, you'll hear a negative story that's happening in the world, but he'll watch like 10 videos of different
Yeah.
people's perspective on it. And so I do think that, we do get barraged
Yeah.
by what is going on in the whole world now through
Yeah.
social media.
Yeah, for sure. At least your husband is listening to multiple sources, so that's good. But probably not good just before bedtime.
No,
That's not how I
no.
would choose to consume it.
No, it's terrible. I'm always like, no, we need Zen music. And, I
Yes.
put on the virtual fireplace and
Oh, that's
listening to the
nice.
rain. And he's
Beautiful.
like, no, I want to hear the news. I'm like, oh God.
I like your version better. That sounds nicer to me.
It's funny, there's a meme that it's like, like the two different personalities are always the ones that end up getting married.
So true.
It's funny. But no, but I just think that is interesting. We do, I think, carry the weight of the world
That's right.
on our shoulders quite a lot more. And you can't separate that as much as people, perhaps maybe years ago would say leave home life at the door when you walk into
Yeah.
work. I mean, I think that that's really hard to do these days.
It's really hard to do these days. And look, there's legislation coming in now, right to disconnect and all that sort of thing that's meant to
Mm,
be safeguarding, your home time and things like that. But it is so much more integrated, isn't it? And that may be one of the curses of COVID and lockdown, that we all realise we can do our
mm,
jobs for the most part remotely. And so then it's having to get really tough on boundaries for ourselves around, well, I'm at home, but I know I can just log on and check things. So what boundaries am I going to have in place for myself to protect my energy that I actually need now for myself, for my family, for my recovery time from work? So it's a
mm.
whole new set of challenges. You're not so much leaving work at work anymore.
Yeah. And I think, as a business owner as well, like, especially if you're, a solo or small team and you are
Yeah.
working from home, you're really in home life, in work life all the time. I think I love your point about boundaries. What
Yeah.
tips would you have for people who are, either in the workplace or maybe working from home and really, struggling a little bit?
Yeah. I think boundaries is something that I worked out I wasn't particularly good at, and I spent a lot of
Same.
time working on it for myself. So whether it's speaking
Mm,
to my counsellor about it or whether it's reading about it, but I've realised the older I get that I need to safeguard some of that energy for what matters most to me, which is my mental and physical health and time with my kids and my partner and my family. So it's just, look, tips is different for everyone. It's about knowing what you want to protect first and foremost, and then having some buffers and strategies in place to say, whether it's you're out of office, on whether it's silencing your notifications after work, whether it is scheduling emails, just
mm,
those little practical tips that can just help you create a bit more space for yourself in life. But also things like, switching off the news from time to
mhm.
time and just connecting, what can you do with that time instead? So instead of, 30 minutes a day checking the news and having all that noise coming in, what could I do that is more intentional with that time and energy as well? So just, filling up that cup as much as we can.
Yeah, and I love that you use the word intentional. I've just really connect with that. I feel like it's so easy to just let the day slip away and then the week slip
Yeah,
away and then it's Christmas and we're going, "Oh my God, how did I get
that's
here?"
right. That's
You
right.
really do have to be intentional about your time and how you
You
spend it.
do. because it just goes otherwise. And,
Mm.
you know, all the things we think of as downtime, and I'm guilty too. I love reality TV. I love all the crap on TV. But when you think about it, it's just a time warp. Like you're just wasting time.
Mm.
Where really what I want to be doing is filling my mind with things that help me think differently or reflecting on the beauty in life. And so just finding some space in life for that sort of stuff as well.
Yeah, I love that. I had a moment I don't know, last week or the week before where I was like all my feeds are business content.
Uh-huh.
And I was just, you'd go onto Instagram and it's almost like you go to Instagram for your escape, but it's
Yes.
all my people I follow are like in business. And
Yeah.
I was just feeling so flat. And I was like, you know what? I just need to look at pretty stuff,
That's right.
like art or fashion or beauty or
Exactly.
stuff that's not work related.
Exactly.
But
And so
again, you've
I've
got to be
intentionally
intentional.
you do. I've intentionally started doing that with my feed with the people that I follow. It's like I want to see beautiful gardens and I want to see
Mm,
beautiful holiday destinations and I want to learn from people who can uplift me, whether it's in a spiritual
yes.
realm or some other way. And what I need to cut out is all the doom and gloom in the world. So it's not that it's being ignorant to it, it's absolutely happening, but I want to consume it when I want to consume it, not when it's fed to me.
Yeah. And it's so interesting. So my guilty pleasure is like cooking videos.
Oh, nice. Love
I
that.
can't cook, but I like to watch other people cook.
You might learn something one day.
You never know. I save a lot with good intentions.
Good.
But I did notice the other day, I must have clicked on something celebrity related, but I just noticed how quickly my entire like
Yes.
discovery page just moved to all celebrities. And I was like, what is
Yes.
this? Where's my food?
Exactly.
So you do have to be like super
You
curated and
do.
careful and
You do.
intentional about it.
I did the same. I mistakenly liked a post of a little kid approaching a biker, and then all the help the biker gave him, which was beautiful. But now
Oh,
my
yeah.
feed's full of it. I'm like, I'm not that
Yes.
interested.
It was one time. Leave me
It's cute. I
alone.
don't want to see it every day. Thank you.
Isn't it crazy?
It
But
is.
yeah, but that is the world that we live in. It's like, we want to keep your eyes on our screen.
That's
And
right.
yeah, and if you don't kind of have that self-awareness, it's so easy just to get trapped in that little, I guess that's why they call it the black hole of
It
Instagram.
is. Exactly right. So when really,
Mm,
like, I love to read, so I'd love to spend more time doing that, and I love to
yes.
garden, and I want to spend more time doing that. So it's just shifting our focuses from what's consuming our time unrelentingly to
Yes.
being really present.
I love it. I love it so much. It's so good. So, what do you think has been one of your bigger challenges in business? So, obviously, you moved from corporate to running your own
Yeah,
gig. What was that transition like?
it was safe for me because I did it with my business being the side hustle. So that was
Yeah.
a sort of really easy way to ease into it, still having the safety net of a paycheck. And I had the support of my leader at the time and what have you. So the more I talk to business owners now, the more I realize a lot of people do it that way. So a lot of people
Yeah.
just do it slowly as their little side hustle. So that worked really well for me. Jumping into the business with both feet during a pandemic whilst having a child under one, not a lesson for the faint-hearted. That was tricky. Learning to navigate, working with the corporates who sometimes like to pay on 60-day and 90-day terms. That's fun, not? So
Funny
then
though,
work.
no one tells you that going into
No,
business. Like, no one
that's
goes, oh, by the
right.
way, people won't pay you for the work you do on time.
No, that's right. So I think that mindset shift around no regular paycheck anymore,
Mm,
times where you're at your peak and you've got lots of stuff happening and lots of revenue flooding in, and then other times that it's right. Where does my focus need to be? And I think that's just the
yeah.
stuff that you only learn when you really do it.
And that's I guess why I love having these conversations as well because it's everyone's experience,
Yeah,
like everyone goes through that and it's not I think sometimes when it first happens you're like, "Oh my God, like did I stuff up here? Like did
yeah,
I did I fail at business?" It's like, "No,
yeah.
this is almost a rite of passage."
That's
People
right.
Yeah, going through the roller coaster, the peaks and troughs of revenue, people not paying on time,
Yeah,
cash flow.
yeah,
I think the moment you learn the word cash flow, it's like,
that's it.
what is this mystery?
Yep, and you work that out pretty quick, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's and then not being afraid to fall back on what you know when you need it. So,
Mm,
I when times were really tough, just at the start during the pandemic, I needed to go back and do some part-time consulting in recruitment. And you know what? That's okay. So then it flipped that
yeah.
my business was the focus and recruitment was the side hustle. And
Yeah.
as a business owner, I say just do what you need to do to get the business sustainable, and nothing's failure, everything's a lesson.
Yeah, I love that. It's really interesting because I think sometimes, again, with the social media culture, there is a bit of hustle, burn the
Yeah,
boats, all in kind of vibe. But for so many people, you're right, having that, yeah, calling your job your side gig or whatever it
yeah.
is, but it's like, it's not failure. And it's actually incredibly smart to give yourself some financial security.
That's right. That's it. And you do. And the more women I speak to, the more I realize, oh, lots of people do that.
Yes.
It's like this thing we don't talk about. But why not? At the end of the day, we've all got mortgages or rent to pay, and we all want to keep working on the businesses. And there will be peak times, and there will be times that are a little bit scarcer than they should be. And so you do what you need to do to support yourself.
Yeah, I love that. There's a girl I follow again online,
Yeah.
but she talks about having a portfolio career.
Yep.
And I love that idea that it's
Yes.
actually, yeah, you can design this life however you like. And if
That's
it
it.
means a little bit of consulting or a couple of, part-time
Yeah.
days, plus the business, plus the this, plus the that, that's great. Do it.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be the same path for everyone. We all get there in the
Mm,
end, right?
yeah.
If someone, what I get cross with is all these, I can help you make $1 million that we see online in your first 3 months of business. Stop it. You know,
Yes, I
just stop, because
know.
it's a journey, and for most people, it has its ups and downs, and that's just normal. And they're the conversations we need to have.
Yeah, exactly. And I think too any time I see the word passive income, I'm like, what business owner hasn't had to work for their money? Like it's
That's
just
right.
so ridiculous.
It's so rewarding, and it's also work. Like,
Yeah.
it just is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, when you do design a business that is centered around your passion or your
That's
skills or
right.
whatever, yes, it's work and it's really freaking hard, but it means something and you're creating an impact.
It's exactly right. And it's always bringing it back to purpose. And my business is
Mm,
very purpose led. It's about changing stigma. It's about changing leadership practices. It's about supporting each other and having real conversations around mental health and
yeah.
well-being. My beautiful partner, says to me every day, "Whose life are you changing today?" When I'm leaving home to go and do some
Oh, I
training.
love them.
Yeah, which is a beautiful way for him to remind me of my purpose every time
Mm,
I'm doing it. And I think a lot of being a business owner is mindset management. I think that's probably the biggest thing that you grapple with. It's,
yeah.
sales cycles can be long, sometimes they can be short, and it's just managing your mindset through all of that and supporting yourself with the right people who can help you do that, I reckon, as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I think that, you can know the exact steps to take, and half the time it's just getting your brain to go,
Yep,
yes, take that action, actually do it.
that's
It's
right.
mindset's huge, isn't it?
It's huge, and we get in our own ways all the time, not doing the thing
Mm,
that we know we need to be doing because we're tired or it didn't work last time, and having to do it again. But that's any job, right? Like, we've all
yeah.
got things we just need to do.
Yes.
And once you do it, you feel so much better for it.
It's so true. It's usually far less painful
Yep,
when you're at the other side. I always have that. I'm like, why didn't I do that 3 weeks ago? It took me
exactly.
20 minutes.
Instead of causing yourself all this anxiety limbo of why haven't I done it yet, and then beating yourself up because of it.
Exactly. Now,
Yeah.
you said my two favorite words, sales cycle.
Yes.
So, talk to me about how you make sales in business. So, what do you do from a sales and
Mm.
marketing point of view to attract
Oh,
business?
such a good question. I feel a bit lucky that in the first part of my career, I was in recruitment, and I was and in an agency setting for 14 years. So I was taught to do BD. the cold
Mm.
calls, the pounding the pavements, for want of a better term. But for me, what I learned, and I was really reluctant to become a recruitment consultant, even though I had an HR degree and I was very people focused. But I was a little bit daunted by the whole budget and sales thing. But then when I realized that it was all about relationships, that's when it shifted for me. And I've
Mm.
still got a lot of those relationships now. So people, CIOs and C-suite people from 20 years ago that I'd be knocking on their door saying, hi, blah, blah, blah. We're still in touch and we do business in my business now together
Mm.
today, because it's all relationships. And that shifted it for me. But what I do in my business now, so I leverage a lot of the networks and relationships that I already have. I'm a big coffee person. Let's sit down. Let's chat about what's going on in your world. Let me tell you what's going on in my world. Let's see where we can add some value to each other. I am very much trying to get better at the socials thing, the newsletter thing. Again, being a business owner, wearing 5 million different hats, that's new to me. Not so new anymore,
Mm.
but it certainly was at the start. And just showing up, continuously getting people to trust your brand. That's part of being a business owner.
Yes, so true. And I just love, when people have gotten to that stage where it is relationships,
Yep.
because I think sometimes the word sales really scares people,
Yes.
but it is just, I just say it's conversations. Like, you know how to have a conversation with someone, therefore,
That's
you know
right.
how to sell.
That's exactly right. And it's that self belief in yourself as well that you have something that's going to make a difference to that person.
Yes.
So yeah, and it's not feeling bad if you don't have what they need at that moment. It's a not yet. And again, it's mindset, right? It's about,
Mm.
okay, they're not ready for what I have to offer yet, but they're happy to stay in touch. So let me stay in touch and keep having conversations and see where I can add value.
Yes, exactly. And that is the really interesting thing about sales is you're right. A no isn't a no forever. It's just a not right now. So if you
Exactly.
continue to treat people like good humans and add
Yep.
value, you're always surprised at how people come back around. Oh, now is the right time, and you're the person that's top of mind.
Exactly right. So look, I'm genuinely interested in people. I love to build relationships with people, whether there's a need or not. I'm just always grateful for um, a meeting, a referral, or have you thought about this, or can I recommend you this book? And any way I can add value to them is what makes me really happy. And I think there's always that beautiful exchange of information and knowledge sharing in any interaction that you have.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is true. Like, we are humans and by nature we talk to each other and
Yeah,
share. So having a coffee with someone, even if it doesn't go somewhere, they might mention it to a friend or a colleague
exactly.
or someone. So you just never know where it goes.
You never know. And I just think, I always look for the commonality in people. What do I have in common with this person? Or what can I
Mm.
learn from this person? And I think we've all got things that we can learn from each other and grow from each other and add some sort of value to each other.
Oh, so good. I love it so much. I could talk to you all day, but I always love to wrap up these podcasts with one last piece of advice.
Sure.
So, reflecting on your time in business, what would be a piece of advice that you would give to another woman on her
Mm,
business journey?
don't start in the middle of a pandemic. No, joking. What would I give as a piece of advice? I'd say support yourself well, but with people who can really help you with your mindset. Actually, I think that's
Mm.
super crucial. And the other piece of advice I'd give is don't do it alone. Like, if it can get a bit isolating working by yourself. So go out and co-work. Go work in your local library. Support yourself with networks like this one, so that you feel well supported both from a mindset and a community perspective. I reckon that's really important.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. On the days where things are hard,
Yeah,
there's just nothing like, even if you don't talk about the issue that you're having, just talking to somebody and knowing that they get it, they get where you're
yeah,
at and they get what you're going through is just huge.
yeah. I think it's cathartic to be part of a group of other business owners who can go, oh yeah, I've been there, and you're like, oh, what do you do in that scenario, and
Oh,
learn
it's
from
not
each
just
other.
me.
Exactly. I think that's really important for mental health and well-being. Actually,
Amazing. Rebecca, thank you so much
my
for
pleasure.
sharing your story and your tips and your wisdom. Absolute pleasure having you on Spark TV.
It's been lovely speaking with you, Danielle. Thanks so much.
That wraps another episode of Spark TV. Shout out to Spark TV sponsor IP Australia for their amazing support of the Spark podcast and women in business. And if no one tells you today, you've got this.